Security expert Ona Ekhomu joins us now for his perspective on this. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Ugochi.
Yeah, well, that's good news for people of Dapchi and for Nigerians in general. Now, also remember that the terrorists want these girls not to go back to school. How do you think Nigeria should handle that threat?
Well, I think we should handle it as a serious threat. Boko Haram had, under Shekau, threatened a long time ago that they will continue to kidnap schoolgirls as long as the federal government was attacking or arresting Muslim girls. That was Shekau's demented take on it. However, this job that was done, the Dapchi job, appeared to be an Al-Banawi job. Because now Al-Banawi, the girls came back all intact. Well, almost all the girls came back. 5 were killed, 1 still in captivity, and 104 came back. Now, what that, because Al-Banawi had said, he had pledged that he would not attack Muslims. So, and not just that, well, Al-Banawi does not also believe in Western education. That's why he's leader of Boko Haram, or now renamed ISWA. That is Islamic State for West Africa. Now, having said that, I think we should take that threat seriously, that those girls should not go back to school. First of all, government has already taken it seriously. Our Borno State government has closed all boarding schools. Most of the northeastern state governments have done the same. And they are anticipating this threat that they will go and conduct mass kidnap. But what they forget is that Boko Haram has been kidnapping people even from their classrooms. So it's not necessarily just a boarding school kidnap alone, mass kidnap that we're looking at. They can kidnap them even in school or even at home. Boko Haram has kidnapped thousands of girls and boys and women in Borno's, Adamawa and Yobe states. So I mean, the kidnap is a basic staple in their playbook. So I don't know why anybody is surprised about that. I think what we need to do is perhaps worry more about how to improve security in schools, and that's what we should worry more about.
But I'll take you on your comment about Al-Banawi not kidnapping Muslims. But these girls are Muslim. Over 107 of them are Muslims. They were kidnapped in the first place.
Yes, Madam Ugochi. This was a money play for Al-Banawi. Al-Banawi was trained in Algeria by Akim, that is Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, in the kidnap trade. When his father was killed in 2009, he was moved across the desert to Libya and protected and trained there as a master kidnapper. So that is his stock in trade. Now, what bothered me with this, because in earlier analysis, I said this was a Shekau job. What bothered me with it was that Al-Banawi does not have the kind of logistics to deliver this kind of mass kidnap event. That is Shekau's forte. So my final theory was that Al-Banawi and Shekau must have collaborated, because there's still money in this thing. Don't worry whatever anybody tells you that it was an unconditional thing. I don't believe that. Nobody gets kidnapped and comes back and says, I paid ransom. So I understand their constraints. So that's what it is.
Okay, now for many people who say this has become a business and we shouldn't pay terrorists, yet we need to have the girls released, how do you think, as an expert, Nigeria should negotiate with terrorists when we have such events where people are taken hostage?
Well, that's why thank you, madam, for your kind appellation, security expert. That is why I am a security expert, and that's why government should have security experts working with them, not just defense experts. Defense is when something has happened, you start fighting. That's defense. That is after the fact. You are reactive. You are reacting to stimuli. You need to prevent these things from happening in the first place. Now, over so many years, I have given government free tips on how to protect schools, and I think those things should come into play. For example, take Borno State government. You know, we still have bombs going off almost on a daily basis in Borno State. Yet there's no program or IED prevention kidnap program in that state. Now, this is a program which also the National Security Advisor should key in on and put in place. You need to be able to protect the citizens from being kidnapped, from being killed in the first place. That is the primary purpose of governance. I really don't understand why this is not well understood. It's not about congratulating ourselves that we got the girls back. Were the girls supposed to be kidnapped in the first place? The answer is no.
Okay, so you're saying some preemptive action, lessons should be taken in, where people are taught what to do when there's an attack. So what happened in Florida, where students know exactly what to do when there is an attack. But let's talk about the comments by T.Y. Danjuma, who asked people to defend themselves. You heard that. What do you think?
I think this situation of foreign herders coming to kill Nigerians is getting too much. And apparently the Nigerian authorities are not able to protect Nigerians. Again, remember I said protect. Protect is preventive. That is, it is before the fact, not after the fact. Not after they kill Nigerians will come and lament about it. So I think the general's comments are right on the money. I think there appears to be rogue elements in the military who are probably collaborating with some bad guys to attack some of our citizens. We have a very fine military in Nigeria, I must hurry to say. However, we know, like in every complex organization, you have fifth columnists. And there will be people who, even in the Nigerian military today, that's fighting Boko Haram head on, you have people who are giving information to BH about the movement of the military. So I think what the general said is right on. I have long said that we have too many ungoverned spaces in this country, and that's the problem with the security architecture. Everybody in Nigeria likes to use the word, which I started using for them many years ago, security architecture, but they don't know what the hell it means. So it's unfortunate, that we are doing this Baba Salah governance. But however, having said that, what I want to say quickly is that we have too many ungoverned spaces. Now these headers come in, and mostly foreign headers, because they don't have sympathy. They come in and they butcher and kill people in local rural communities. They won't try it in the urban areas because they'll be lynched, of course. So what happens? You need to have, I've called for vigilance. I've called for vigilance in all communities. You must have vigilance. Vigilance, whether they are armed or not, they must be there so that they provide a bulwark of support. I believe that is, if I may translate the general's word, that's what he's saying. He's saying that, look, you must take responsibility for your own security. You cannot wait for the army to come in. In Taraba State, Third Div is based in Jos. Jos is a long way from Gembu, for example, in those mountains. So when is the army going to get there and save you if some people are slitting your throat down there? So I think it's a serious thing to say. It's a serious discourse. And I think that should be the trust of the security architecture of this country. If we really want to save Nigerian lives, we should make it so that Nigerians can first protect themselves even before the authorities get to them. So the authorities become a response force to individual security.
Ona Ekhomu, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. Great view of you and I behind you there. Thank you so much for your time.
I thank you. I couldn't see that, but thank you.
The federal government has taken a swipe at the People's Democratic Party and those spreading false narratives about the abduction and release of the girls. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed, in a meeting with newsmen in Lagos, faulted the negative reactions and falsehood. He particularly mentioned the false story by one Sergeant David Bako, who claimed the abduction was planned in the villa and executed with 80 million naira.